How's it going, my peeps? Deagle here with WrestlingGamer.com, and I'm here to talk to you guys about why I think TNA should make a new Impact Wrestling video game. Now, recently, there's been some talk over Twitter and TNA's YouTube channel about a new Impact Wrestling video game. Now, before I should get into that, for those of you wondering, what you're watching in the background is not some new footage from an Impact Wrestling video game that's coming out. This is old footage from a TNA wrestling video game released back in 2008 for Xbox 360 and the PS3. Now there's several versions, like a DS version and a PSP version, but here this is the console version, which is, the one with the better graphics. There's a newer TNA wrestling game out there, but it's for, mobile devices or tablets, such as the iPad. Anyways, like I said, on Twitter and on TNA's YouTube page, more specifically TNA's post show, there's been talk about a new Impact Wrestling video game. On Twitter, Kurt Angle said that they're working on a new Impact Wrestling video game. Now, he didn't go into too much detail on, if it'd be released for consoles, mobiles, or whatever. But on TNA's YouTube channel, Jeremy Borash on the Impact Wrestling post show, which, they post after the actual show. I mean, it's a post show. He pointed out, he was answering some questions, and he said that yes, TNA is actually working on an Impact Wrestling video game. But what he did say is they were working on a new iPad game, so that means it's a game for tablets, which is unfortunate. You see, the thing is, I want a new Impact Wrestling video game. I think, there's a good demand for it, at least I would think so. Competition, the more competition, the better, because you actually get a choice. But I think most of us want a full-fledged game, a console game, a game you can play on the Xbox 360, PS3, that can actually compete with WWE12 and actually have, a good amount of content, game types that this video game did not have. You see, this video game, TNA Wrestling, for in 2008, the graphics were insane. The graphics were great. The character models were great. But the problem was the gameplay and the lack of moves and lack of game modes and just lack of a lot of stuff. Basically, it was a pretty basic video game. But right now TNA I think is in a good spot, and they should release a new video game. You look at the Impact Wrestling roster right now compared to the 2008 roster. The roster has improved greatly, and you've got these major superstars like Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, Mr. Anderson, Hulk Hogan, Sting. There's just so many major superstars, so that would make for a great wrestling video game roster. And on top of that, TNA's just changed in a significant way since 2008. 2008, they had a 6-sided ring. Now they've got a 4-sided ring. Just the name itself, the name of the show is no longer TNA Impact, but Impact Wrestling. So that alone, that name change would be a good reason to make a new video game, so that way they could have, a video game, an updated video game to represent their show name, Impact Wrestling, and not an outdated name, a name they don't use anymore. And on top of that, the roster has changed significantly. You've got the addition of Jeff Hardy, RVD, Hulk Hogan, like I said, and also they've got some new titles, the TV title, the Knockouts Tag Team titles. Actually this game did not have titles. Well, you can defend titles or challenge for titles in exhibition mode. And, just the programming itself has improved so much, these past couple of months. Recently, people who haven't been enjoying, lately WWE programming have been turning to TNA, and I've actually been enjoying their programming. Which brings me to the whole competition thing. If TNA releases a new Impact Wrestling video game in, 2013, 2014, then that's competition for THQ, that's competition for WWE13, 14. Competition is great because not only will it give us a choice on which wrestling game we want, or maybe both, but it makes both games better because the competitors try to outdo each other by making a better game. So, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Those were my reasons on why TNA should release a new Impact Wrestling video game. Hopefully 2013 we can have a new Impact Wrestling video game. And if it does happen, hopefully they add a much larger moveset, more match types, and a better story mode. In the comment section, tell me which features you'd like to see in a new Impact Wrestling video game, if it does happen. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, you can click that like button, I'd really appreciate it. You can also click that subscribe button to check out my latest videos. and check us out at WrestlingGamer.com, as well as Wrestling Gamer Facebook page and Twitter page in our forum. With that said, I'm out. See ya.